afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Elections Commission's June 28th meeting. We have about 11 items on the agenda. We have 7 that are posted, and we have 4 addendums that were late after the 48-hour posting notice, which we will hear. We will open up with agenda item number 1, hearing regarding the request of Solutions Group, Inc., 94 Greenleaf Street, Rich McDonald, for a lodging house license previously held by Right Direction LLC. And this is Rich?
Yes.
Rich, why don't you tell us what we propose to do, or what changes, if any, you plan on making down there? Or?
There really isn't any changes. It's been used as that for the last 2 years. Same thing, a 24-hour paid staff to be on site.
We have all of the appropriate inspections were done. Emergency contact form is all set. The workers' comp is here. How many rooms are in the house right now?
8.
8, and it is fully sprinkled, right?
Fully sprinkled.
Fully sprinkled.
Fire.
I will say that the group that is currently operating it is doing an absolutely outstanding job. We want to make sure we maintain that type of level of service that the neighbors expect there. I mean, the place is, I drive by it all the time. It's impeccably groomed. It looks fantastic. You'd never know it was a lodging house. So
we kept the same staff.
Everything's the same. I know that Margaret LaForest, I spoke with Councilor LaForest, and she has no issues at all with this going forward. She just wants to make sure that the same type of priority is maintained to make sure that the place is run the way that we expect it to be run. Before I go to the board, any members of the audience have any comments or questions? Seeing none. Board members, comments, questions? Chief Banner.
I know you do a great job. We looked at the other properties that you have. Inspector Wong was by there. There was a couple of issues with fire extinguishers. And I didn't have that. Thank you. We don't have any problems.
Okay. Anybody else? Board members.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Solutions Group, Inc., 94 Greenleaf Street, Rich McDonald, for a lodging house license previously held by Right Direction LLC.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Solutions Group, Inc., 94 Greenleaf Street, Rich McDonald, for a lodging house license previously held by Right Direction LLC. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, Rich, okay? Thank you very much. And before I go on, I did forget to read our open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings and transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. With that, we will go to agenda item number 2. Hearing regarding the request of the Quincy Yacht Club for a 1-day extension of the premise to host a charity event, Making Ways for Cancer, on July 30th, 2016. Mr. Paul Emmerich. And that's also for the, are you here for the Elks extension also? No? Frank is for the Elks, okay. So why don't you tell us about what we want to do with Making Waves for Cancer?
We're doing a poker run during the day,
Okay.
with it ending at Quincy Yacht Club. We wanted to open up the parking lot, and then we're going to have a band there in the afternoon, and just looking over the park.
And what are the hours that we're looking to do it?
The poker run starts early in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. We'll be back about 4 o'clock.
So what time do you want to open up the parking lot to people?
Open up the parking lot at 5 o'clock.
So 5 p.m. till?
5 to 11.
5 till 11?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's my next question.
You go to each.
What's a poker run?
A poker run is done by boat. You go, oh, that's just wonderful. I apologize. You go by boat from yacht club to yacht club. At each yacht club, you get a playing card. You go to 5 different yacht clubs. At the end of the day, we end up at Quincy Yacht Club. Whoever has the best poker hand wins the prize money.
Okay.
It costs $30 per person, $25 if it goes to the charity, $5 goes to the To the winning,
Okay.
the winners, yes.
Yeah, any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Seeing none, board members, comments, questions? Chief Barron?
Based on the amount of people you have under that tent and the type of tent, you will likely have to have a permit from my department and may have to have a firefighter detail. So would you contact our fire prevention office?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Did you say tent? I didn't hear what you said at the beginning. You said under a tent?
Yes, if you have,
Yes,
depending on the numbers you have.
The only thing we are tenting is the actual stage for the band. Everything else is gonna be left open, so it's gonna be a 20 by 20 tent, but
Okay,
I will,
then you'll be fine.
I will contact you if I need
Yeah,
to get a
you
detail,
just-
that's,
Yeah,
no problem.
you should be fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Board members, any other comments, questions? Looking for a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of the Quincy Yacht Club for a one-day extension of premise to host a charity event, Making Waves for Cancer, on July 30th, 2016, represented by Mr. Paul Emmerich.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Quincy Yacht Club for a one-day extension of premise to host a charity event, Making Waves for Cancer, on July 30th, 2016, represented by Mr. Paul Emmerich, and it's going to be from 5 to 11 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, okay?
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, I'm gonna bring up the, go off the board a little bit, because we do have the Quincy Elks here for an extension of premise. So can we have the Quincy Elks come on up for their extension of premise? Who's here from the Elks? Frank.
I'm sorry.
Come on up, Frank.
I'm involved in the Quincy Yacht Club one too, so
Okay.
trying to make sure we get everything squared away.
So why don't you tell us what the Elks are looking for their extension of premise?
Looking for an extension on this coming Saturday night from about 4 in the afternoon. That's when the wedding actually starts, so probably the bar won't be open out there until later on, but probably 6. But it's the, we've had them before. It's for an outdoor wedding, basically. It's the daughter of the Barrett's Catering. And they specifically requested the bar to be outside, and it'll be under a tent area.
This is out by the gazebo area?
Yes, yeah, right on the patio, on the gazebo, yes.
Okay. I know, I know exactly where you
Yeah,
are.
all right.
And what are the hours that we're looking for the outside?
I'd say 4 o'clock, as soon as it starts, for someone will have a beer in their hand,
Yeah.
be outside.
Till, what time is that?
I'm gonna say 10,
10?
11.
I mean, what time are they out of the, what time are they supposed to be out of the hall? That's my
They
question.
would have, technically, they have to be out, if it was a normal rental, it'd be like, they'd have to be out by, if it started at 4, they'd have to be out by 11.
It's the caterer, so we're looking 4 to midnight, 4 to 1.
4 to midnight, be fine.
4 to, we'll give the extension of premise till 4 to midnight,
Yes.
okay? That's this Saturday night. Do we have a date for this Saturday night? The 20th, July 2nd?
July 2, yeah.
And this is for a wedding. Any comments from anybody in the office, in the audience? Seeing none? Board members, any comments? Looking for a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of the Quincy Lodge of Elks, 258 Quarry Street, represented by Frank Bertoni, for a one-day extension of premise from 4 p.m. to 12 p.m. wedding. July 2nd, 2016, Saturday. Thank you.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of the Quincy Elks for a extension of premise from 4 to midnight at 258 Quarry Street, July 2nd, from 4 to midnight, represented by Mr. Frank Bartoni. All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, Frank.
Thank you.
Good luck, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3, hearing regarding the request of PJC of Massachusetts, Inc., DBA, Rite Aid, for change of manager from Nicholas Filer to Allison Bean. Is this Allison?
Yes.
Allison, come on up, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You are Rite Aid over on
Granite Street,
Granite Street. Do you have the address?
105.
125 Granite?
105.
And this is just a change of manager. We have the Form 43 all filled out. Anything else? Order, application, we have the check. Emergency contact form with the everything else is here. Any changes gonna be made? And with that, any comments, questions, anybody in the audience? Seeing none, board members, Chief Banner.
One of our inspectors was by, did he speak to you?
No, I talked to him, I actually talked to him today, and two of the issues we resolved. And he was just waiting for some reports that I called my office, and they were gonna fax them today, and I just didn't get a chance before I left to
You-
find out if you
You'll
got
make
a
sure,
report. I
you'll
will
make sure
definitely-
those fire alarm
Yeah.
system reports make it to tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah, because I believe it's down market.
Okay,
These sprinklers are tested through them.
all right, well,
Yeah, no, I'll follow up and make sure that happens.
thank you.
Yeah.
For a motion, board members?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of PJC of Massachusetts, 105 Granite Street, Rite Aid, for a change of manager from Nicholas Filer to Allison B.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request from PJC of Massachusetts Inc., DBA, for Rite Aid, 105 Granite Street, for a change of manager from Nicholas Filer to Allison Bean. All in favor? Aye. You're all set, Allison. All right,
Thank you.
good luck over there,
Thank you.
okay?
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6, hearing regarding the request of the Neighborhood Club, 27 Glendale Road, for alteration of premise. Marty McGovern. Anyone here from the Neighborhood Club? No, so seeing no, we will put that on hold for a minute, and I may have announcements later on regarding that. Agenda item number 5, hearing regarding the request of Zohoran Huang, DBA 86 Degrees T, 1259B Hancock Street, for an outdoor patio extension. This is Mr. Zohoran Huang, owns 86 Degrees. We have had an outdoor patio in this area before, haven't we? Or was this on the Hancock Street? It was on, this is on in between, right, going up. So there's been an outdoor patio there in the past. We have the application. All this other stuff is in order. Paul McCarthy and William DeCarli will buy. We have emergency contact. Workman's comp insurance is here. So why don't you tell us what you plan on doing, okay?
Yeah, we actually just need 3 more tables and 6 chairs outside.
And that's how it's gonna be,
That's
just 3
how-
tables, 6 chairs.
And yeah, it's totally now obstacle
And this is the,
because it's a 35 more feet long.
okay. That's good. And this is the application from the licensing board that we distribute to operate on the Sidewalk Cafe. They have all of that paperwork in order, they have their liability insurance in order. And again, this allows them to operate on city-owned property in front of their establishment to serve food out there. Any members of the audience have any comments, questions? Seeing none, turn to the board. Board members, comments, questions? Again, this is an extension of premise. It will be good from Patriots' Day until Columbus Day, so early April through November. Hours of operation are at the location that you're at right now. What are your hours of operation?
For now, it's from 11 in the morning and 9 p.m.
11 to 9, is that what we want? You want to keep those hours, 11 to 9? And this is 6 seats, 3 tables, right? Board members, any comments, questions? Looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Zohoran Hong, DBA 86 Degrees T, 1259B Hancock Street, for an outdoor patio extension with 6 seats, 3 tables, from 11 to 9 p.m.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, grant the Zohoran Huang, DBA 86 Degrees T, 1259B Hancock Street, for an outdoor patio extension, 6 seats, 3 tables, from 11 to 9 p.m. All in favor? Aye. You're all set, okay? Good luck.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6. Come on up, Victor. Victor and Octavia. These are the Cavallos, who we know very well within the city. Victor and Octavia. This is a hearing regarding the request of Dander Donuts, Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 200 Crown Colony Drive, for a common vicular license in BJ's. Victor Cavallo, manager, represented by attorney Ed Fleming. How are we today? So we're going into BJ's?
Yes.
That's good.
BJ's reached out to Duncan, expressed an interest in bringing Duncan into the facility to take over the existing cafe within the existing BJ's facility. I reached out to Victor and Octavio as they are the local representatives of the Dunkin' Donuts facility, and they agreed to take that on. So we've applied for a common victual license to essentially change over the management. There'll be a little bit of a fit up, I think, work within the facility to fit it up for Dunkin' Donuts. There'll be a standard Dunkin' Donuts menu, and I believe Victor indicated there may be a possibility of extending it to soft serve ice cream as well. Primarily serve the customers of BJ's. Right now, there's no intention of having any outside signage. There will just simply be inside signage that will identify the Dunkin' Donuts.
You're not gonna try to put a drive-through in there, Victor?
Not yet.
You sure? I know you'd love to get one in there. So,
Maybe this is the first step.
well, if you went around the back of the building, there's plenty of queuing. That's sure. And that back wall is right there. So
Just punch it out.
ideas. The back wall is
Jay's like,
right there.
Remember, BJ's was gonna put a gas station on the corner. That was part of the original proposal, so there's plenty of room within the parking lot for a facility.
So,
We'll get after that too.
maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Maybe.
So, we do know that Victor and Octavia have operated several Dunkin' Donuts within the city for many, many years. Their dad started it years and years ago, and he was such a great operator. When I first came on, I remember Charlie and Freddie, the other food inspectors, just raving about what a great guy your dad was. So we love having you here in the city of Quincy. We love having Dunkin' Donuts in the city. Any comments from anybody in the audience? Questions? Board members, comments, questions?
I'm assuming the hours are going to be the store hours?
Correct. We'll open an hour earlier than the store just to service the
People inside working.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Dander Donuts, Inc., doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, 200 Crown Colony Drive, for a common victular license in BJ's. Mr. Victor Cavallo, manager, represented by attorney Edward J. Fleming.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, grant the request of Dander Donuts Inc., DBA Dunkin' Donuts, 200 Crown Colony Drive, for a common vicular license within the BJ's store. Manager Victor Cavallo, represented by attorney Ed Fleming. All in favor?
Aye.
You guys are all set, okay?
Thank you.
Good luck. We'll see you down there, all right?
You're gonna find what? Clients like the Cavallos. Thank you.
Agenda item number 7, hearing regarding the request of NS Corner Food Shop, Inc., 171 West Street. Shahin Akhtar, manager, for a common vicular license. Why don't you come on up? This is Shahan Akhtar.
No, actually, this is Mohammed Hassan.
Can you spell that first name again?
Mohammad.
Mohammed, and the last name?
Hassan.
Hesan. H-A. Hassan.
Yep.
Mohammed Hassan. This is Mohammed Hassan. He is looking to take over the West Street Market, 171 on West Street. We have, yeah, he's gonna be the owner. We have all of our information. Bill DeCarli was there on 6/21. Bruce Knapp was there on 6/21. No changes are gonna be made to the facility at all. We have emergency contact. We have our workman's comp. Everything else is in order. And what are the hours of operation there right now?
It's 7 to 9 right now, but I will make 6 to 9.
You wanna go 6 to 9? Anybody in the audience have any comments, questions? Seeing none, board members, comments, questions?
Mohammed, are you the manager or the owner?
I'm the owner.
And who's gonna be the manager?
I will also manage.
So Shaheen Akhtar is not,
She is my wife. So, yeah.
okay, so,
Basically, I will be running.
That's who we have down as the manager, Shaheen. I mean, you.
We're recording, that's the whole thing.
Right.
Recording. We're recording what it is.
Yeah. The Corey was done. On Muhammad,
Okay,
okay?
so we have to
Yeah.
quarry her.
Right. Boom, boom. And, yeah, we have her as an emergency contact, but not as a Corey. So,
Send it to Leah.
we are putting you down as the manager, okay?
Okay.
You will be the manager of record for us. If you wanna change that, you can come up and fill out the paperwork, but you're gonna be the manager of record.
Sure.
Comments? Board members? Looking for a motion.
there's no beer.
No, no beer and wine. This is just a regular convenience store. Lottery,
Yeah.
things like that.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of NS Corner Food Shop, Inc., 171 West Street. Mohammed Hassan, manager for common victular license. Hours of operation 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of NS Corner Food Shop, Inc., 171 West Street. Mohammed Hassan, manager for common vicular license. All in favor? Aye. You're all set, Mohammed, all right? Good luck.
Thank you.
We have some late additions to the agenda. We are going to go to Burke Seafood is, come on up, Dick, why don't you come on up? We're looking for an extension of premise for one day. What's the date that we're looking for?
Friday, July 8th, I think it is.
Friday, July 8th, and this is for the side of the building.
The side of the walkway through the parking lot
Right.
between myself and the hardware store.
Exactly, okay.
Councilor LaForest was down, she
Yeah.
said they're gonna clean it up, put some tables out there, there'd be live entertainment. And she said that if we wanted to have food, that's not an issue, but to do the beer and wine, if we wanted to sell the patrons beer and
You
wine.
have to be able to come up here and get an extension of
Exactly.
premise for one day. That
Yeah.
only requires our approval because it's just a one-day extension. If you were coming up for a permanent extension, you would get our approval, and then we'd have to send it into the ABCC to get their approval.
Okay.
If it's just a one-day license,
No, at this time, we're just
license,
looking for the one day.
so that's all we're gonna do, a one-day license for an extension of premise. And do you have any idea what the hours are gonna be?
Well, I don't at this point. You know, I would think that it's probably gonna start like late afternoon, and the live entertainment might start around the supper hour.
Yeah?
I mean,
Well,
if
what are
there's-
your hours right now?
we close at 8, but I mean, if there's activity out there, we'll stay open. You know,
You-
but
you'll-
we won't be there any later than 9.
Your beer and
That's
wine,
bedtime.
your beer and wine license is good until 1 AM.
Oh, it is?
You have a beer and wine license, it's good until 1
Okay,
AM.
we're not gonna be.
Yeah, no, I know you're not gonna, but we're gonna give you this temporary one-day beer and wine license until 9 o'clock.
Okay,
Is that gonna be enough for you,
that's
you
fine.
think? You sure?
That's fine.
All
Yep,
right.
yep.
So this is gonna be a 9 PM, 4 to 9 PM, one-day extension of license for July 8th. Anybody in the audience have any comments, questions? Seeing none, board
How many
members?
seats?
Oh,
Outside, I don't know. Margaret said
You
we're
have
gonna
an area though.
Yeah,
bring tables down, and I don't know how many tables she's planning on bringing, and how many seats.
it's gonna be right in between the
walkway?
Yeah,
the hardware store and Burke Seafood. It's probably about a 30-foot space.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room.
There's plenty of room there.
This is in conjunction.
This is in conjunction with.
Yeah.
The mayor's initiative
Yes.
for the different neighborhood things,
So
yeah.
this is all good stuff.
Yep.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Burke Seafood for a one-day extension of premise, Friday, July 8th, beer and wine from the hours of 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, to grant the request of Burke's Seafood for an extension of premise for one day on July 8th from 4 to 9 p.m. All in favor? Aye. Dick, you're all set. all right?
Okay.
I hope you have a really good day.
Okay, thank you, I'd like to thank all of you. Thanks.
Thomas, come on up.
Best seafood in Quincy. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, this is Craig's Cafe, 1354 Hancock Street, Thomas Anacone. He is looking for a sidewalk cafe license.
It's here.
He's in here. I know that Thomas has been the owner of Craig's Cafe for a couple of years now. He currently just received a beer and wine license from us, probably about what, a couple months ago?
A month and a half
A
ago.
month and a half ago. This is for an extension of premise. It is not for an extension of premise of his alcohol. This is strictly for his food at this point. While the downtown's going up and the park is being created, Thomas wants to be able to let people know that he is gonna be open at night, he is open, and he wants to be able to serve food out there. So with that, I believe this board will grant him his extension of premise, and then he can, once the park is complete, you can come forward and ask for an extension of premise on a permanent basis for your alcohol. That way you'll be able to serve beer and wine out there with your meals, and that'll go through as long as we have all the paperwork filled out, and you'll have no problem with it. So this is a good start. We should get the recognition out there, and you'll be ready. So with that, we have his application that was filled out that we require through the city. All of the information is here.
7 till 3 Monday and Tuesday, and then 7 till, say, 10, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And you're gonna keep those hours the way that they are?
Yeah, maybe say till 11, just in case people are sitting outside.
Again,
Yeah.
your
The liquor.
beer and wine
goes
license
to 1
is till
a.m.
1 a.m.
Yeah.
So, you're all set with that, all right? And how many tables you plan on putting out there right now?
Four
Four.
with 4 chairs each, so 16 seats.
It's a pretty good spot over there.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna just make sure you submit the drawing. Is it in there?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah. I measured it out.
Oh, okay, all right, I didn't see this part. Oh, that's perfect, okay. All right, everything is in order. Any other comments, questions? Anybody in the audience have any comments, concerns? None? Board members?
I do have.
Oh, go ahead.
The application said 11 a.m. for outside.
Do you want to go earlier?
Could we do 7?
Yeah.
Especially on the
Absolutely,
weekend. people want to set up
absolutely,
for
absolutely. You
breakfast.
can be out there. Your hours are 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
You want to open up at 9, go ahead, but you can open up at 7 if you want.
Okay.
All right, so
All right,
those are
perfect.
your hours. Can't sell alcohol until after 8 a.m.
Absolutely.
Okay? Just so we know. Any other comments, questions? Board members? Looking for a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request of Craig's Cafe, 1354 Hancock Street, represented by Thomas Anacone, for a sidewalk cafe license, no alcohol, extension of premise for food, 4 tables, 16 chairs, with the hours 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to grant the request of Craig's Cafe, 1354 Hancock Street, Thomas Anacone, for a sidewalk cafe license with no alcohol to be served, hours 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., 4 tables, 16 chairs. All in favor? Aye. Thomas, you're all set, okay? And when the park's all squared away, come on back and we'll take care of the alcohol for you,
Thank you.
okay? Okay, I'm gonna do one more final call before I do K&R. The neighborhood club, no one has showed up. Okay, so I did speak with the neighborhood club earlier this afternoon, and I also spoke with Kirsten Hughes, who represents that area, to continue this. And I was hoping that someone would be here from the neighborhood club. I had several calls saying that people would be here, but they haven't shown. So this is gonna be continued. I know that it was already advertised. I'm just gonna open it up because we did put advertising out there. So I'm gonna open up the hearing regarding the request of Neighborhood Club 27 Glendale Road for alteration of premise, Mr. Martin McGovern. And seeing that they're not here, I'm just going to ask for a continuance until our next meeting.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue the request of the Neighborhood Club, 27 Glendale Road, for the alteration of premise represented by Martin McGovern.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to continue the hearing of the Neighborhood Club.
You can say when.
I'm not gonna say, because I'm not sure whether or not we'll do something in August. We'll see what happens with people coming in for different things. So we're gonna continue this until the next available date, and we'll make sure that the Neighborhood Club knows about it. All in favor to continue?
Aye.
Here we go. Last item is K&R Auto Body. We've had them here before for a couple of other things. I know we have Pat Foley, who's gonna come up and represent K&R and just tell us what's going on down there. Come on up, Pat, thanks. This is Pat Foley, he's working with K&R Auto, and I know that he's had some discussions with Councilor LaForest, so tell us where we are.
Thank you very much, Board, for letting us come up here today. My name is Patrick Foley, and I represent K&R Auto Body. What we're seeking to do today is just to move today's hearing into September. I was retained for this matter actually the night before. He was scheduled to have his neighborhood meeting, so I did two things. The first thing I did was talk with him, then talk with Councilor LaForest, and everybody was on the same page that, you know, we got some work to do, and we look forward to doing it. And Councilor LaForest was excellent. She met me up in my law office the next day. We went over everything, things that we need to do, things to consider. And actually, I think tomorrow, the three of us are going to sit down and try to hash out a game plan of the best way to go forward. So hopefully we'll see you guys in September with a solid game plan.
That's what we want. Anybody in the audience have any comments before we turn it to the board?
Sure.
This is Councilor LaForest representing Ward 1.
So, good afternoon, thank you. The best thing I think K&R ought to have done is retain Attorney Foley. We've had some, I know through each of your departments has fielded complaints relative to K&R Auto Body, as have I, and relative to after-hours activity, the number of vehicles, tow trucks being parked on the streets, vehicles being parked, coming off the tow truck and being parked on the streets. It's really been infiltrating the neighborhood. So one of the things that Crispo had reached out to me when the violation was brought to your board's attention, we had talked about scheduling a neighborhood meeting. We followed up with that, did that, mailed the neighborhood, put it in the Houseback Bulletin, was all set to have the meeting. Sure enough, Attorney Foley, 24 hours before this meeting, gets retained. So pleased that progress was made. That was the ask, I think, of this board, the ask of myself when we initially brought it to his attention. Unfortunately, it was the midnight hour. And at that point, the letter that Brandon had emailed me that said we were going to talk about a schematic for these cars, for the hours of operation, and what the plan would be with this neighborhood, what they'd want to do, was not game day ready, not even remotely close. So at that point, the decision was made, we're not going to have this neighborhood meeting because there's nothing to present to this neighborhood. Right now, we've got a lot of compliance issues. And so my request was, let's bring this property and this business into compliance. Do that, come up with your plan, present that plan to the neighborhood, and we'll see what amendments we can make. I think that the neighborhood respects that this business has operated for decades at that location, and it's a neighborhood kid trying to make improvements in a small business district that has a lot of challenges because of its location deep into a peninsula. However, you can't impact the neighborhood. You can't park your tow truck on the side streets. You can't put your vehicles on the side streets that they need a tow yard. Clearly, the capacity, parking capacity is a challenge for them. I'm disappointed to say in my conversation with Attorney Foley, we checked in today again before today's meeting, is that we are not seeing the compliance that we requested. So the request was when Attorney Foley came out and engaged, let's stop the late night activity.
at the present, at KNR. I know Special Services is aware, I know the Quincy Police Department is aware, and that late night activity is continuing. We know, and there's no need at 10 p.m. to be working on vehicles, right? If the license is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., let's comply. The number of vehicles and clearly needs to be brought into compliance. So the request is to this board is that to have some sort of monitoring this summer. Let's see if this business owner can bring the business into compliance and come up with a plan. I will schedule another neighborhood meeting as soon as this plan is presented. Probably, I could have the impression the licensing board was off for the summer, so I was looking at probably a September date. I think August is sometimes unfair to do a neighborhood meeting on an issue, particularly if the bulletin would be published in August. So I was looking for a September date to give them opportunity, and I think, like Attorney Foley said, there's a lot of work to do on this property. Yep, jump right in.
I just want to address the counselors, a couple of comments she made. The day I was retained, she told me about the late night activity. First thing I did was grab and say, listen, this isn't the clubhouse, this is your place of business. You have a great opportunity here to do a really good thing. Being a local kid, I mean, look what's going on in the center, right? A lot of big businesses, big developments coming in. This is a local kid with a small business looking to hopefully grow that business a little bit, especially the auto body business. It's so tight right now. I mean, everyone goes to the dealership, whether it's Ford or Toyota. So we get the opportunity to do some really good stuff. And so I told him about the late night stuff, and some nights, being a small business, he does stay 6:30, 7 o'clock to finish some jobs up. And I did tell him today on the phone, you gotta be out of there at 5 o'clock. Oh, let's say 5, you're out, go home. And so we look forward to really talking to Councilor Forrest and going over what he needs to do. Because I think he's got a great opportunity down there if he does things the right way. I think he's got it. I really do.
Good.
Quality mechanic work. I think that everybody does recognize that a lot of it works on a lot of the neighborhood cars, but there's a difference if you're a neighbor like me up on Rock Island Road, or you're the neighbor on Shannon Street whose backyard abuts it. The other thing that I brought from some conversations with the neighbors to Jadrika's attention, and I believe it's been rectified according to Attorney Foley, is we had talked about on the rear of the roof of KNR had been storage of tires, a canoe, and car parts. I don't know, we boat on roofs in House Neck. I don't understand how that's where we'd be storing boats, but so be it. And from what I hear, I have not seen it myself, I don't know if you have, but I believe the Special Services did a visit, and from what I'm hearing, although I haven't personally confirmed it, that has been cleaned up. So, in some ways, I'm hearing that the applicant, that the business owner is listening. I haven't seen immediate compliance, and I think we need a bit more serious conversation. And with our meeting we have scheduled for tomorrow, we want to invite Inspector Duca, see if it would work. We could make the time work into your schedule. I feel like particularly your department might have the most the authority over the violations, and whether it's enforced through you or through the police department, I think it's a good conversation to have. This is the problems that this licensing board has had identified to them relative to compliance that we're looking for to brought in alignment with before we can make adjustments to your hours and your operations and your number of vehicles and your sales license, and a lot of things that, I think have some potential positives for his business, but you gotta take care of the neighbors, you gotta do right by your neighbors before, in parking vehicles and bringing a tow truck and parking on Wall Street, Bell Street, and Macy Street, and dumping vehicles off your tow truck into side streets is just unacceptable.
I just want to add something. This came to our attention, 2 months ago?
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I'm disappointed at the applicant that at the 11th hour, we're still not anywhere closer to resolving this. It was just a matter of getting a simple plan together.
Right.
I know I went down there with Drew, and we thought we could, they could come up with a simple plan, and this would have been resolved.
First thing I did was engage him with a man to do a plot plan, the Ponce Valley survey.
Right.
So I've been playing telephone tag with him. The roof's been fixed, the roof's been rectified. I just want to add, for a small businessman down Howes Neck, he does do a lot of good for the community. He was down there with Touch a Truck with his trucks. Elderly people come in, and he won't even mention this, don't worry about it, catch me next week, catch me on the first of the month. And that's the small business field that we're losing. So I think that we can work some of these kinks out and encourage him to grow his business, because like Margaret said, there's a lot of good stuff that this kid's been doing down there that's been flying under the radar. I think some of the negativity gets, really under a microscope, but he does a lot of good down there, and I think we should look into that as well.
Well, I think there's no question about that, and I think you said that there is an opportunity for this applicant to take advantage. He's been in the neighborhood a long time,
Yeah.
so. But I'm concerned now, my second question is, what is going to be the status? over the summer? And will that impact the neighborhood? So I am concerned about that.
Yeah. I think we'll know a lot more tomorrow when we sit down and we talk with him. I've told him, the council gave me a list of things he has to do. I reinforced it. She's gonna reinforce the things he has to do. And I tell him, you gotta think long-term. You got a great opportunity. I'm 34 years old. He can be sitting here as a young kid at 34 and have it made. And I've been trying to tell him that is keep focused. And I honestly believe he is going to, because a lot of these growing pains and a lot of these issues, a lot of these things are stuff that he is trying to correct. And things that you got to remember, he's a young kid who took a business over very young too. So I think we're going to have a lot of conversations on this, but I think we can do some good with it.
I think unfortunately the immaturity factor has been, for example, when other business owners have come before this board, I think we're seeing an immediate reaction. It takes a lot to get called for the licensing board, so it wasn't like Jay just got one complaint and we brought him to the licensing board, right? So this has been a chronic complaint, chronic issues. I think there are some positives, right? He's made some property improvements, right? As far as, aesthetically to the property, he's invested some money into making it better. I haven't done a site visit to tour the inside, although we've been just, and the council here is a little bit busy to schedule. So we're gonna do that on site tomorrow, but definitely some challenges, and I think that over the summer is really important to monitor the status. So whether it's through inspection services or if it's late night and it's the Quincy Police Department, doing these checks to say, we're driving by and 10 o'clock, there's lights on, what's going on there? Or, I think there's one thing, the job came, the job run late, the job doesn't run late every night at 10 p.m. And so that's
You hit the
why.
nail right on the head. It's one thing if he's in there, one or two nights every once in a while till 6:30, 7 o'clock because he's trying to finish something up. It's another thing to be in there every single night of the week until 10 o'clock. Then that's when you're gonna have the issue.
I agree, Commissioner.
So just, I think, a couple quick questions for me as far as understanding, and this might be something you can provide to me offline if it's not handy, is the hours of operation currently on their license is what, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday?
I believe that's it.
7 to 5 Monday to Saturday. How many vehicles are they licensed to have on the property? 15?
I can get you those
All right, so I
tomorrow.
guess I want to be, make sure that information is provided to whoever's going to do this monitoring and enforcement, so that when we have our meeting tomorrow with, hey Brandon, here's the facts. These are the facts that you need to be in compliance with. And if it's that his business can't be accommodated 100% at 1310 C Street, well then maybe we're up at, renting property in West Quincy from, by the shipyard, or the point by the shipyard. I'm just throwing hypotheticals out that here's your yard, you have a tow business with a small yard, and you've got a bigger yard offsite. I don't know what his solution is, but I want to work with him to help his business succeed, but we've got to protect that integrity of the neighborhood, and we just need to have, it's one thing respecting the elderly neighbor, taking care of it. I think that's just a good humanity, good thing to do business, but your immediate abutting neighbors, there's been some disrespectful behavior, and there's really been some challenges that we need to resolve. So I appreciate this board's willingness to be flexible. It's frustrating too that I thought this should be simple. We're not there, but the conversations are open, and I will tell you, Attorney Foley has been phenomenal, that he engaged me right away. We sat down for an hour the day of the meeting, said this is just not ready. Today, followed up the licensing board meeting, get going here, let's talk about where we're at today. So I feel like he's made some progress, just not at the pace, I'm with you, Jay, not at the pace that we would have expected.
But we're moving it.
So, and if you're
We'll
available
get there.
tomorrow, I'd love to get the time that you're there on site, and if it's, someone from Quincy Police comes down as well, and the four of us meet with the applicant to say, this is serious, this has got to come into compliance. We're open on your application come September, but you've got to show some good faith to the neighborhood.
Well, I think its performance over the summer is going to say a lot in September, so I think.
Told
That's
them.
what I would say.
Any other comments, board members, questions? Look for a motion to continue till September? Or is this just an update?
What's that?
Can I just get a motion to continue K&R till September?
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request to continue K&R Auto Body case until September.
And I'd say just for the agenda, potentially the second meeting if you're doing two.
The
just-
first available.
Community.
Because the community meeting's gonna be,
September
yeah, so-
13th, September 27th.
let's go for 27th. So we'll
27th,
shoot
yeah.
for that third week, that was
September-
before.
Continue till September 27th.
Great.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to continue the case regarding K&R Auto on C Street until September 27th, so that the ward counselor and director of inspectional services can meet with Attorney Foley and the owners of K&R Auto. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, board, have a great Fourth.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to see if we can get a motion to waive the minutes and accept the reading.
Motion made.
Aye. That concludes the licensing board meeting for today, June 28th. Pat?
Sure.